this Mando'Ade sect and also the Mando'Ade network. And when you talk, guys, it's getting really, really funny that the how do you say more of the how we all see people have their faults exposed, and a lot of it's getting funny big time, and we all know how people get when they become arrogant and develop an ego, you know. Now, it seems that Fannie Willis is in some hot water. She had an affair with a prosecutor, someone that she hired and paid more, and it looks like she's blaming racism. Like, okay, how are you going to blame racism if you got caught? If you got caught, right? If you get caught, you can't really blame anything or anyone but yourself. You know, I mean, if you get caught having an affair with someone you hired and paid more, that could really jeopardize the case you have against Donald Trump, right? And then you hear about Mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard. You know, she got caught running a charity scam because her charity didn't file any paperwork with the IRS. And she's working 2 jobs, mayor and supervisor, which she's basically double dipping, and it's really shows how someone's arrogance is shown. If you have a past and no one and somehow there's some things you didn't know, it will come to the light. It will come to the surface. Now, we all have faults and falters. We all have errors in our lives. You know, we all have the side where we can get a little carried away. You know, get a little carried away, and on things, you know. And sometimes we have to accept the outcome of our punishment. You know, you understand that if we get exposed, what is there? You know, once you get exposed, once you get exposed, there's nothing that you can do about it. You know, you can't go after the ones that exposed you, because guess what? You're exposed. You know, you can't deny it. I mean, you can't deny it. That's like Tiffany Henyard denying spending $150,000 on a 2023 denying buying a 2023 Chevy Tahoe for $150K. I don't see that. Oh, it's right here. That's your signature. I don't see that. Which, you know, if you spent taxpayers' money on a $150,000 vehicle, you know, you do that, and you go after people who exposed your ass. You gotta wonder, like, What are they afraid of? Like what are they afraid of? You know, mayors, governors, and presidents can only do so much according to the laws. The mayors cannot do anything without the city council. The governor cannot do anything without the state representatives. The state. The president cannot do the president cannot do anything without Congress. Okay. Mayor has to ask trustees / the city council. The governor has to ask the people under him that are watching his ass, watching their ass. The president has to answer to Congress because they're monitoring their ass, the president's ass, And it's going to be that. Arrogance, ego, greed, all this bullshit. We all have that little bit, or a little bit of arrogance in ourselves, the ego, all that shit. If we are in a certain position of power, whether it's local government, state or federal, or even if you work at a job as a law enforcement, right? Law enforcement. Or if you work in the banking system, the whole, and, or if you're in the military and you rank up, so like you spend 20 years from private and you bust your ass for close to 20 to 25 years and you become a general, right? You'll work your ass off, man, and you become the level of, the command staff in the military, up there with NORAD, all that shit, or you become part of the DOD, and when you reach a certain, it tends to fuck with your mind, man, because once you reach that level, you get a little bit of that pride. Some of that pride, some get that pride that, yeah, I did this, yeah, here, but it kind of it tends to change you, right? You could be a DA, and you end up becoming more arrogant, egotistic, all other shit like that, But also, what's another line of work? Big business, like big pharma, big oil, big gas, big auto, big tech, right? Big tech. Oh, big tech. Big tech. Big tech. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Look where he's at. He went from a college dropout to an arrogant multi-billionaire, because he grew an ego. He became arrogant. Look at Bill Gates. College dropout. Worked for Microsoft, which he didn't really develop anything, He said, I developed the most powerful operating system. No, he didn't. Somebody else did. But when he got exposed, he felt this small. Now, here's another fact here. The telephone. Do we all really think that Alexander Graham Bell created the phone? No. He stole the patent to the phone. The phone was created by an Italian guy. Now, there were things ideas stolen and given to somebody else. Now, the term ego, arrogance, you know, you know, when you reach a certain level in life, you tend, like, if you work in politics or finance or something like that, you would tend to be an arrogance start to build up in here. The whole arrogance, the whole ego grows. Like a police officer, a rookie officer, just out of academy, starts to develop an ego because his FTO spent years, decades, having his ego developing arrogance. Because they think they can do what they want. They think they're above the law. Actually, law enforcement is not above the law. They have to be within the law. Let's all sign a petition across the board to get rid of qualified immunity. Because cops don't really need it. Just that it's a cop out of defending someone who does not want to be held accountable for their actions like a child. So it's really pretty much that arrogance and ego, and get caught when you fuck up, you get caught, you get exposed, and you try to hide it, but yet there's somebody that would be already ahead of you, exposing more and more and more of what you've done, whether you're a DA or a mayor. There's about 3 other city mayors try to think they're above the law. They're all above the law because, I'm mayor, I can do what I want. No, you cannot do what you want. As mayor, you gotta understand, you work for the city. You work for people who pays your fucking salary, man. And just because you think you do what you want, don't mean that you can actually do what you want. You have to answer to the city council and the people who voted your stupid ass in. You got to think for a moment here. You got to realize you are going to be held accountable, and because your actions coming up for election, they're going to put your ass out. They're going to put your ass out. We had a mayor here in California, in the Central Valley, who was mayor for 26 years. Stayed mayor for almost 30 years. And just that you gotta understand that so the mayor who's been being a mayor for 26 years was challenged and lost the mayoral race, and he tried to get back in it. He wanted to become involved in city government, but he was put in a lower position. And see, power does corrupt. Power does corrupt absolute. It changes the person. It changes who we are. If we're so used to this kind of power, you end up becoming arrogant and egotistic. There's been, like for example, look at these. Look at the time of Castro and Gaddafi. They've been leaders for over 50 years. Over 50 years, since the late 60s. In fact, Castro was started in late 59. and he was president of Cuba for a year for years. There's not even an election in Cuba for years, you know. And Mao, China, not one election in years until he died, you know, until he died. And then you have or now you have Putin, Vladimir Putin, who's been president for over 20 years, over 20 years, you know. You have certain leaders that became dictators for a long period of time to a short period of time because our government put in puppets to run those governments under the radar, you know. We had one replaced twice, and if those leaders did not play ball with us, meaning our own government, and they would be replaced with somebody else. You know, arrogance, ego, power, control, greed. You know, like you have countries with oil, Middle East, Africa, South America. You know what? Like that. It's about oil, and we have people under the radar go to these countries. They have oil, and they'll talk into them selling our government the oil resources and shit. You know, lithium, oil, the whole barrel, the whole thing. But in Burkina Faso, there's a young leader who's in his 30s, in his early to mid 30s, and Burkina Faso. He's a young leader, and there's 4 other sectors of Africa that have became a group wanting to unite all of Africa. See, Northwest Africa is they're slaves to the West. Okay, they used to be slaves to the West, you know, and because it's about money, about weapons, it's about how to keep a certain section of Africa in the control of the Western backed area there. But I've been watching the videos on Burkina Faso. I'm blown away. I'm like literally blown away because we have arrogant, egotistical, corrupt people in our government that wants to assume control over certain nations through a puppet system. We did that with Saddam, Noriega, and a few other leaders over the decades during the Cold War, you know, and it got pretty bad that, you know, we got sick of these leaders. We had puppets that played our government because, like, here, for example, Noriega was put as a puppet of Panama. He played our government, man. He played everybody in our government. Like, dude, this guy is slick as a pot and shit, dude. And then Saddam in the early 90s during the Gulf War, he invaded. Allegedly, he invaded Kuwait. Allegedly, and we went in there, picked him out, took the oil. So, 11 years later, 12 years later, we took him out. 3. Why? Because Saddam was selling his oil in euros, not dollar. That pissed off the big oil companies here in the United States, and even our government. the ones who are getting paybacks through the oil companies, and they went after him just for that. And they used the invasion of Iraq as a cover story to go in there, get Saddam, and his trial and death sentence was what you could call an assassination attempt, because he was making billions in euros, and the U.S. was like, nah, no, we want our cut, we want our full 90%. Gaddafi was a different story. He wanted to unite all of Africa with the gold currency called the dinar. The dinar would totally not destabilize, but kind of stabilize the financial market around globally, And they used U.S., French, and NATO-backed rebels to kill Gaddafi because he wanted to unite Africa under the dinar, which would have been a great thing because he wanted all of Africa being on the same playing field as the United States, the UK, Europe. The EU, everybody. He wants them to be on the same playing field as the United States, as the UK, as Asia, as Europe, and all that. So, and they took him out because he wanted it. Like he pretty much put the fear in the United States just doing that, But here we got some arrogant assholes like Hillary Clinton saying, "We came, we saw, he died." He just laughed like you fucking cunt. You are laughing at a guy who you paid rebels to take him out because you're afraid that if he went on through with this, that you and your little buddies are going to be so scared and shit that all of Africa is going to be on the same global playing field as you fuckers. What the hell, man? I mean, you guys went after Haiti, totally ruining that country, assholes. And Burkina Faso, they kicked out all of France and their military, because the whole entire France was kicked out of Africa, booted out, and there were a lot of inspirational leaders in Africa, some parts of Africa, who were doing the right thing, thinking, and have the heart of their homeland and the mindset of, let's get back where we need to be. Each one ended up being assassinated, Why? What are you afraid of, man, Belgium had him killed. Had one of the Patrice Lumumba. He Belgium had him killed because Belgium, dude, you guys in Belgium, man, you guys are really taking the cake at the time, and Eisenhower saw him as a threat, just newly elected by the people. Like you're going to kill a guy who is absolutely not a threat. Not a threat. Okay? They killed him and his prime minister under him, And why did you kill him? What were you afraid of, man? Like what were you really afraid of, man? Were you afraid that They're going to be inspiration for all of Africa. And, I mean, shit. There has to be a level global playing field. And this is why they created the BRICS Bank. BRICS, the BRICS Bank, to challenge the Fed. Challenge the, so that's what it is. It's all arrogant people who been in power for so long. And then 2023, 2024, you have a mayor in Dalton, Illinois. So fucking arrogant, so ghetto. She's wasting tax dollars. The FBI is looking into this woman, and she's making money through her charity. It's a scam. Then you have a DA in Georgia who got caught having an affair with a married guy. Also, having an affair with a prosecutor under her, a DA under her, who she pays more than any other prosecutor that she has in her administration, and like she's fucking up bad too. Then you got the AG in New York. She's fucking up pretty bad too. And it's getting really bad too. So remember that. Arrogant people, egotistical morons, anger for power, don't want to lose it, but yet they're losing it. Alright, guys, this is good old Reverend Ordo from the anonymous Mando'Ade sec. If you guys are new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below. Hit the bell for notification. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. Oh, forgot. Come here. Lizzie 2. Say. Lizzie 2. Godspeed. Peace out. We're good.